Good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, depending on when you are choosing to access this part of the course information. It's one of the beauties of being in a distance learning asynchronous class is that you can access information from the instructor anytime that's convenient for you. And speaking of the instructor, my name is Greg Sherman, and I am the instructor and designer for this course this semester, EDET 620, Educational Technology. I want to welcome you to this experience, and in just a moment I'm going to give you a tour, an overview of the course website. That will be the main space where you will get information and examples about the class, and where you will be expected to provide access to the work that you complete in this course throughout the semester. Just a little bit about my background. I have been teaching at Radford University for almost 15 years now. I've taught this particular course for most of those years. Before that, I was a professor at other universities as I moved around the country a bit, and I started my educational career as a junior high school science teacher. I mostly taught high school or ninth grade biology. And that's where I learned how to become a teacher, a real teacher. And like any teacher today, I was faced with having to make a lot of decisions in my practice regarding how I would use the resources that were available to me. And at that time, the resources were just starting to be computer-based. But I can tell you with surety that most of the decisions I had to make are very similar to the decisions teachers have to make now about the best way to use resources, whether they're computer-based or not. In addition to being a science teacher, my other education, my graduate education, is in the field of instructional technology. That's instructional design and evaluation, and learning theory as it applies to the use of mediated resources. So my background and my training is definitely within the purview of educational technology. Now, in this particular course, as I mentioned, it's asynchronous. All the experiences that you will have will be sort of communicated through the course website. You do not need to be online at any particular time throughout the week or throughout the semester. I will be posting new assignments almost weekly, so stay tuned every week. Get into the habit of checking into the course website to obtain information about what's due for that week. You'll be assigned a particular project for a particular week, and it will take you about the week to create the things that you need to create and process and reflect upon, as well as providing access to it, so that both myself and actually the rest of the class can review the things that you created and how you chose to reflect on them. Essentially, this course, which I think is a highly relevant course to any professional educator today, it's essentially designed into 4 sort of distinct chapters. Each of those chapters reflect some of the important ways in which you might choose to use technology to improve your practice as professional educators in the areas that sort of define your job as an educator. And those include using technology to improve your instructional practices, that is, helping your students learn what you want them to learn in effective ways. The other areas include using technology to help you cultivate and build community among all of the people who are the stakeholders in your practice. And those would include, of course, your students, perhaps some of their family members, parents, as well as other people out in the community who you might choose to include in some of your learning experiences. Another area is how you might use technology to help you manage the resources and processes of doing your job as a professional educator. And finally, there are some specific ways now in which technology can be used to help promote your own professional development as you grow as an educator. It's one thing that you'll be doing for your entire career is continually improving your practice. And technology resources now provide professionals in education with many, many great options and many opportunities to continually improve how they do their jobs throughout their academic years. So those are the four main areas, and all the projects you're going to be doing this semester will fall into one or perhaps more of those four areas. So before you get started now on diving in and completing the projects for week one, I want to take a few moments to sort of orient you to the course website, since this is a space that you will be using regularly to help you learn what needs to be learned in order to be successful in this class. So let's take a tour then of the course website.
One of the most prominent features on the home page for the course is going to be a link, a button to the information and the assignments for the whatever particular week you are visiting the site at. So obviously at the beginning of the semester, the first link is to the week one work. And when you click on that, you will get some information from me, probably an embedded video of some sort, and then some information about the course itself. And then at the bottom of the page of this page, generally speaking, you will have access to a button or a link that takes you to the course project for that particular week. So that's what you're going to find on the homepage, and this is where you'll go every week. This semester, it'll be on Tuesdays for the posting of that week's work. Now, you'll also notice on the course webpage up at the top on the menu, you'll have some general syllabus information. So I have general information about the course. There's information about me and the office hours. I've got some information more about my professional background. You can check it out if you want. My Vita is available. And information about grading and due dates and that sort of thing. Got more information about me, including an embedded Spark page that you will also be creating in the first week of class. I have the calendar. Most of the projects will link you to the calendar, which presents the due dates as well as how many points various things are worth. And I will point this out on the calendar that I update this throughout the semester because things change. I will drop a project, or I will add something, or something will be clarified. So just know that when you get to the bottom of the calendar, when it says there are a total of 225 points possible for the course, that might change throughout the course. I'm going to go back to the general information just to point out that I do operate in terms of grading on the A minus, B plus, B minus, and C scale. This is very typical of a graduate course, and just be aware of that. I do use D2L to communicate grades for the course, and you can access that at the beginning of the course by clicking on the D2L link at the top. That will take you to your D2L interface. So just know that. Again, you can access all of the weekly work assignments from the weekly work drop-down menu. Right now, there's only 1 week posted, and you'll click on that in order to get the information you need for week one. But know that every week there will be another weekly posting, and you can get back to any week that you want by just going to this menu. I also have all of the project organized in a drop-down projects menu. The first submenu are the About Me projects. These will be the things that you will be addressing in the first week of class so that we can learn more about you and you can establish your social presence for the class. After week one, I will begin the instruction related projects, and these will all be a drop-down menu in the instruction. Right now I don't have any of them posted because they're in the process of being revised somewhat. So same with the community building management and professional development projects. You'll be able to access all of those from the drop-down, from the projects drop-down. I have a library of resources that you'll be able to access throughout the semester. This will be referenced, but I will point out that when I go to the notes, readings, etc. Option, that I do have some course notes that I reference in some of the projects. That's a single file that you can download by clicking on the download file link, and that will be that's a very large PDF file. I'm going to close that out. So those are some notes, and there are also some other notes that I'll be referencing throughout the semester. Also some links of some things. So I may be referencing access to resources in the library. Just know that that's there. And finally, the final link is to the students menu. And this is going to be where I access your website, the website you develop. And you will notice I am recording this video on the day before we go live for the course. And we already have one student who came in early and who already submitted her a link to her website. So we have somebody who's already starting even before the class officially begins. So there you have it. That's the course website. And again, you will be, when you go to the course website address, the Weebly website address, this is the landing page that you will see. And you will need to keep this as part of your sort of your habit over the next semester, to come to this website for every week on Tuesdays when the week begins.
Okay, so that's the course website. Now it's up to you to start using the resources on the website to help you create your own website space. That's part of your week 1 assignment. It's a pretty lofty one, but you have all the resources you need to get started. And once you create that space, you'll be able to communicate to the rest of the class and to me a little bit about your own story, so that you can help establish your own social presence in the class, and so that I can get to learn a little bit more about you as one of my students. So click on the links and/or buttons you need to get started with the week 1 work.